What's up, everybody? It's Legal Tender. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the vote. Pulled out some notes to make a new video. You already know I'm gonna thank you for supporting the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support. If you're a fan of Newsmatics, if you're a fan of paper currency, if you're just getting into the hobby of Newsmatics, stay rocking with me, stay rocking with the channel. Every Tuesday is Legal Tender Tuesday, and I will be making a new episode every week speaking about something new, different, or interesting within the realm of Newsmatics. If you have any questions, comments, or input, put it down in the comments section. I read everything and I respond back as soon as possible. Throughout this episode, if I say something that isn't 100% accurate or it's a little different from what you know, let me know via the comments. I will go back, hit the books, and make sure that I have the right information moving forward. All right, with that being said, let's get into today's episode. All right, so first, I think you're going to like this episode because it is interesting. Now, let's start like this. All right, so this here is a Federal Reserve note. Now, as always, you can tell the currency type up top. And Federal Reserve notes are identified with a green Treasury seal and green serial numbers. Now, these notes are known by some, and I've always grown up, not always grew up knowing them, but these notes are small size notes. Now, back in the year 1928, the Department of Treasury reduced the size of U.S. currency to save money in regards to printing currency. So they came up with these new dimensions, and I'll speak about the dimensions in a minute. Now, we got these right here. And like I said, I know them as small size notes. Now, this episode will be about notes that are smaller than U.S. currency small size notes. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, I pulled out 5 notes. All of these notes are foreign notes. Some you might have seen before, depending on how long you've been rocking with the channel. And some, maybe your first time seeing them. Now, I will speak about these notes, dimensions in a minute. But now this note right here is, I will say, the most interesting. I got a little story about this note. Now, I'll speak about that in a second. Now, I'm going to use this regular Federal Reserve note as a scale. Now, check this out. Now, like I said, all these notes, all these foreign notes are actually smaller in size compared to this small size note. And look at that. Now you can still see some US Federal Reserve note on that side and on this side. This note might as well be a horse blanket to this note. But let's go. All right, so the first note is from the Central Bank of Iraq. It has a monetary value of 250 dinar. And the image on the obverse of this note is, this is an image of the Great Mosque of Samarra. If I pronounced that incorrectly, I apologize. Now, Samarra is in Iraq. This mosque is from the 9th century and was commissioned in 848 and completed in the year 851. On the reverse, along with these bright, vibrant colors and intricate detail and patterns, you have this thing right here. And this is known as an astrolabe. An astrolabe, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong as well. An astrolabe is an astronomical instrument dating back to ancient times. It serves as a star chart and a physical model of visible heavenly bodies. Pretty much it's a tool used for astronomy in regards to, I guess, charting and mapping stars and other celestial bodies. So that's that. Now, the dimensions of this note definitely pale in comparison to this Federal Reserve note. And the dimensions of this note is 130 millimeters by 66 millimeters. And this note is from either one or two series years. Series year 2003 to 2012 or 2013 to year 2020. I can't really find a series year on here anywhere, but via my research, that's what I came up between 2003 and 2022. Correction, 2012 or 2013 to 2020. It's a beautiful note with detail in it, though. Nice color palette as well. That's real nice. Definitely one of my more colorful notes. That's the first one. The second note we have is this note right here. This note is from Qatar, from the Qatar Central Bank. It is 1 rial. And these notes are actually, the currency type is actually known as a dinar. So this is a Qatar dinar. And this is the reverse. This is the obverse. Beautiful detail, craftsmanship, just the overall design is beautiful. Now the images on the obverse is a ornated column. Look at that, very detailed. And it also has a sailboat, palm trees, and cross swords. And you can see it a little bit better over here. To the right of the note. The sailboat right there, palm trees, and the cross swords. And I am pretty positive that this image is on the coat of arms of Qatar. I'm positive it is. Look at the detail in this right here. Another beautiful, ornate design note. There's some Arabic in it, and I don't know a lick of Arabic. So it's really hard trying to identify the series year. I think the series year on this note is series year 2003. The dimensions of this note is 134 millimeters by 66 millimeters. And again, one more size comparison to a regular small size Federal Reserve note. Look at all that space. All right, note number 2. All right, the third note we have is a euro. All right, so this is a euro of the $5 denomination. Now, the issuer of this note is the Eurozone, and this note comes from the European Central Bank. Now, on the obverse, there we go. On the obverse, you have an image of a window and doorways symbolizing the European spirit of openness and cooperation. Is it that one? Or is it this one? I think this is the obverse. With I don't really see a window, but I see, I guess, a doorway. It'd be like a column. But yeah, it symbolizes openness and cooperation. So there you go. Now on the reverse, you have a bridge. Yeah, that would be, this would be the reverse. So this would be the bridge right here. Now, when I was over abroad over in Europe, this kind of remind me of a aqueduct. I think I was in Italy and I seen a aqueduct. But this looks like an aqueduct. But as I read it, it says, has a bridge that symbolizes communication between people of Europe and the rest of the world. Also, a map of Europe and the stars that can be found on the European flag. Now, the dimensions of this note is 120 millimeters by 62 millimeters. Now, this is the smallest one as of yet, with a series year of 2002 to 2011. Now, let's do a quick size check. Look at that size. I'll tell you. And this is the smallest euro denomination wise, because there's a 5, 10, 20, and 50, and the size of the note gets bigger and bigger. More to follow on that. So look forward to future episodes. Speaking about euros. Now the next note we have is this note right here. This is a nice note right here. I seen this. I got inspired to get this note from a fellow content creator in regards to numismatics. Another numismatician had the victory notes, and I looked this up, and well, I was trying to Google what I seen, and I seen this one right here. I got it for a fair price. I forget exactly how much I paid for it, but it wasn't that expensive. Now this note right here is a Japanese government peso, Japanese government peso, and it even says it right there. But the thing that is a trip is that the issuer of this note is the Philippines. Now, the image right here is is the Rizal Monument, and it is located in Manila. And in the center of the note, you will have the monetary value of the note. Now, looking on the reverse, excuse me, it is bordered with great detail, and it has the monetary value. It has the monetary value 6 times on the reverse of the note, and worded 1 peso toward the center of a white field. It's nice detail. The border a little bit reminds me of a Federal Reserve note. Size check. And again, the Federal Reserve note is outdoing them in size. Yeah, this note has some similarities to a Federal Reserve note, to me, a little bit. The detail of the reverse. A distant cousin. All right, so the dimensions of this note is 142 millimeters by 70 millimeters, and it is of series year 1943. And that there is your Philippine note. Now, the last note is a note from Japan. This is a Japan sen, monetary value of 5, and the smallest note that I have in my collection. This note is super, super small. Now, the little story about this note is when I made this purchase via eBay, it was zoomed in like this. So I'm thinking it's at least a regular size note, maybe a little smaller, but not a miniature size note like this. And they actually included this in the purchase as well. So I always couple them together. Now the image on the obverse, well, the issuer is Japan, and on the obverse you have an image of an equestrian statue outside of the Imperial Garden, correction, the Imperial Palace. Now, it would be said that this is an individual dressed in samurai armor riding a horse. You have a chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. It's a flower. You know what I'm trying to say. Boy, here I go. A chrysanthemum seal to the top center. And then you have these 2 red seals. Red stamp seal of the governor to the lower right. And then right here in the center, you have a red stamp seal of currency issue department toward the lower center. And we have the monetary value right there in the right corner. I'm saying center. And I want to say that 10 right there identifies the series year. Either that or it's the serial number. I think it's the series year. You got 10 right there and 10 right there. But I don't know, man. This might be the serial number. Because US currency has the serial number there and there in 2 locations. So, if you know if that's the serial number or the series year, put it down in the comments. Help a brother out. Now, on the reverse, you have a light brown oval medallion with the logo of the Bank of Japan. I don't think I'm gonna get a production team, man, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. There we go. Now, the dimensions of this note, the smallest note I have is 100 millimeters by 48 millimeters. Now, there's no need to even do this, but look at this size. The smallest one I have in my collection. Chrysanthemum. I'm done with it. Now, the dimensions of a small size Federal Reserve note is 156 millimeters by 66 millimeters. So these are the notes that I have in my collection that are smaller than the average small size Federal Reserve note. When I got this, I was a little disappointed based on the size, but it is definitely a piece worth speaking about. So I'm speaking about it. All right. small size notes and smaller than small size US notes. Do you have any small size notes? Put it down in the comments. And is there anything that I said that was off or wacky besides not knowing how to say chrysanthemum? All right, that's all we got for this one. Until next time, keep it legal, keep it tender. Talk to you soon.